Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 8, Cell Structure and Function. This is lecture 5. This is your summary lecture for class 8, subject science. In the end, I am also going to discuss homework solutions of lecture 4. So let's start with the lecture. Topics to be discussed today: cell, discovery of cell theory, organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size, cell structure and function, parts of the cell. So let's start. This is a brick wall, right? And as we know, walls are made up of brick. Similarly, our body is made up of cell, and this is the onion peel, and you can see that they are made up of small compartments, okay, which is being separated by a membrane, okay, and this is also looking like a bricks. So they are the building blocks of our body, or building blocks of a plant, okay, and these cells are the building block of our body, and this brick is the building block of this wall. Now what is cell? In the living organism, a cell are basic structural units. Cell may be compared to bricks. Bricks are assembled to make a building. Similarly, cells are assembled to make the body of every organism. Okay? So they are the structural and functional unit, basic structural unit of a living organism. Okay? And when we compare it to brick, they assemble to make a building. So cell assemble to make a organism. It is the basic structural and functional unit of life. All organisms are made up of cells. Okay? Subcellular structures mean which are present inside the cell. Of the cell includes organelles, the plasma membrane, and if present, the nucleus. Okay, so all these things are present in the cell. Size of cell is 1 to 100 micrometer. This is the size of cell. It is from 1 to 100 micrometer. Cells are produced by the division of pre-existing cells. So cells are going to produce by the division of pre-existing cells, which is already present in the atmosphere. Okay. Each cell contains genetic material. Every cell has a genetic material that is passed down during reproduction process. That is coming from our parents to us during the process of reproduction. Cells in the living organisms are complex living structures, unlike non-living bricks. So when we are comparing bricks with the cell, so cell in the living organisms are complex and bricks are very simple. Fine. All basic chemical and physiological functions like repairing, growth, excretion, movement, immunity, communication and digestion are happening inside cell. So all these basic chemical physiological functions, all these functions are happening inside the cell. Now this is the order. Cell will make tissue, tissue will make organ, organ will make the organ system will make the organism. So this is the cell of heart, these are the tissues of heart, this is the organ heart, this is circulatory system, fine, and this is an organism. It could be you, it could be an animal. Now we will read about discovery of cell. In 1665, the English scientist Robert Hooke observed slices of cork which is part of bark of the trees under a simple magnifying device. He noticed partitioned boxes or compartments in the cork slice. So Robert Hooke observed the cell for the first time, okay, and he saw that there are compartments. The cells are looking like compartments in the cork slice. He observed it first, and he took it from the cork, and cork comes from bark of the tree. Okay, so this is how the Robert Hooke observed the cells in the cork. Okay, they were dead cells, and it was compared to the honeycomb-like structure. Okay, the way the honey bees are making the comb. So it was similar to that. These boxes look like a honeycomb. He also noticed that these boxes were separated from the other by a wall or partition. Hooke named them cells for each box. Hooke observed as boxes or cells in the cork were actually dead. They were dead cells. These boxes appeared like a honeycomb. Over the next 170 years, research led to the formation of the cell theory, first proposed by a German botanist, Matthias Jakob Schleiden, and the German physiologist Theodor Schleiden in 1838, and formalized by the German researcher Rudolf Virchow in 1858. Now, what was cell theory? The principle first was all living things are made up of one or more than one cells. As you can see the example, even the plants are made up of cells. The cell is the smallest unit of life. So the cell is the smallest unit of life. You can compare it with a unicellular organism. This unicellular amoeba is surrounding all algal cells to get food and energy. Next is all new cells come from pre-existing cells. Okay, whatever the new cells are coming from, they are coming from the pre-existing cells. As you can see, this is an existing cell. It is getting divided, cell is getting divided and forming two, and it is going to form the new cells. So this is the cell theory. Organisms show variety in cell number, shape and size. Millions of living organisms have cells with different shapes and sizes. Their organs also vary in shape, size and number of cells. Okay. Human body has trillions of cells which vary in different size and shapes. Different groups of the cell perform a variety of functions. Organisms made of more than one cell are called multicellular organisms. So those organisms who have more than one cell in their body, so they will known as multicellular organism. For example, humans. Humans have so many organs in the body, and for every organ there is different cell. An organism with billions of cells starts life as a single fertilized egg cell. Okay, an organism which has billions of cells also starts its life from a single fertilized egg. For example, us. Okay, the fertilized egg cell multiplies by dividing process, and the number of cell increases for development. The single cell organisms are made up of single cell. For unicellular organism, they are only made up of one single cell. That's why uni means one. A single cell organism perform all the necessary functions that multicellular organisms perform. Okay. The single cell organism perform every function that a multicellular organism is performing from different cells. So they will perform every function from a single cell. Example, amoeba, paramecium. A single cell organism like amoeba captures and digests food, respire, excrete, grow and reproduce. Similar functions in multicellular organisms are carried out by group of specialized cells forming different tissues. Tissue in turns form organ. Okay, so single cell is doing everything from one cell, and multicellular having different specialized cells for different functions, and they are forming tissue, and tissue is forming the organ. Shape of cells. Generally, cell shapes are rounding, spherical or elongated. Some types of cells are long and pointed at both the ends. They exhibit spindle shape. Some Sometimes of cells are branched, like nerve cell or a neuron, which receive and transfers messages for helping to control and coordinate the working of different parts of the body. Okay. So these are the example of different type of cells. This is spherical, this is cuboidal, this is discoid. These are RBGs are discoid. These are elongated like nerve cell. Then these are kidney shaped. These are spindle shaped like muscle cells. So they are different type of shapes. Components of cells are enclosed in a membrane. Okay, components of cell are enclosed in a membrane. This membrane provides shape to the cell of plants and animals. Cell wall is an additional covering over the cell membrane in plant cells. It gives shape and rigidity to these cells. So cell membrane is an extra covering, okay, and it is cell wall is an extra additional covering in plants and in bacteria above cell membrane, and it gives shape and rigidity to these cells. Now we will talk about structure of a typical neuron cell, that is nerve cell. So it's look like a star. It has dendrites, there is nucleus, there is cell body, this is axon, this is Schwann cells, this is myelin shield, this is node, in between this is node of Ranvier, and these are axon terminals. Now what function do neurons perform? Neurons are the structural and functional unit of nervous system. Okay, so they are the structural and function unit of what? Of nervous system. They are essential part of the communication system in our brain. So they are essential for the communication system in our brain. Neurons perform all the tasks sending, receiving and processing to maintain the communicative action in the nervous system. So neurons perform all the functions like sending, receiving, processing, and it maintains communicative action in the nervous system. Now size of cells. The cell size in living organisms may be as small as a millionth of a meter, micrometer or micron, or may be as large as few centimeters. Most of the cells are microscopic, means they are able to see from a microscope in size and are visible to the naked eye and are not visible to the naked eye. They are not visible from the naked eye and they are microscopic. They need to be enlarged or magnified by a microscope for seeing. The smallest cell is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer in bacteria. The largest cell measuring is 170 mm into 130 mm, which is an egg of an ostrich. The size of the cell has no relation with the size of the body of the animal or plant. So their size of cells do not have any relation with the size of the body or with the size of the plant. They are independent of that. Cell size. Size of cell varies. For example, I told you that the smallest cell is very small. So the name of the smallest cell is microplasma. It's a bacterial cell, PPLO, pleuropneumonia like organisms. Largest cell is ostrich egg and it is very big. Cell structure and function. Each organ in the living organism performs different functions, such as digestion, assimilation and absorption. Similarly, different organs of a plant perform particular specialized functions. Like we have different organs for different function. Similarly, plants also have different part and different specialized function of different organs. Example, roots have help in absorption of water and minerals. Each organ is further made up of smaller parts called tissues. A tissue is a group of similar type of cells performing a particular function. Now these are the cell part and these are the functions. Cell membrane, it controls the entry and leaving of the cell. Nuclear membrane controls the entry and leaving from the nucleus of the substances. Nucleus, control center of the cell, brain of the cell. Chromosome, genetic information in the nucleus. Endoplasmic reticulum, transport system in the cell. Ribosome, organelle, makes proteins. Golgi body, organelle packages, this is the packages unit of protein. Vacuole stores water or waste. Lysosome, break down old cell parts. Mitochondria, This is the cell organelle which give the energy. So it is also known as powerhouse of the cell. Now plant versus animal cell. See, plant has a cell wall. Animal do not have a cell wall. They have a cell membrane. It also have a cell membrane. Nucleus is present. Nucleolus is present. Endoplasmic reticulum is also present in both. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is also present. Ribosomes are also there. Vacuole big, vacuole small. Mitochondria are present in both. Golgi apparatus is also present in both. Chloroplasts are only present in the plant because plant do photosynthesis. And cell wall is also the feature of plant only because cell wall provide rigidity to the plant cell and they can survive in the harsh condition. Okay, and lysosomes, centrosomes and centrioles are there in animal cell. Parts of the cell. The basic components of a cell are called cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Cell membrane. The cytoplasm and the nucleus are enclosed within the cell membrane, also called the plasma membrane. Okay, so the cytoplasm and nucleus are there inside the cell membrane and they are also known as plasma membrane. It is the living part of the cell, thin, delicate and elastic. So this is the living part of the cell. It is thin also, delicate also and elastic also. This membrane separates cells from one another and also the cell from the surrounding medium. So this membrane will separate cell from each other, okay, and they will also separate the cell from the surrounding medium. It is selectively permeable membrane, okay, this is semi-permeable membrane. It allows the flow of limited substances in and out of the cell. It allows some of the substance to come out, some of the substance to go out according to the nature of the substances, and this gives shape to the cell also. In addition to the cell membrane, an outer thick layer in cells of plants called cell wall. With the cell membrane, there is one more thick layer present in the cell wall because they live in harsh climatic conditions. This additional cell wall surrounding the cell membrane is required by the plants for protection against variations in temperature, high wind speed, atmospheric moisture, etc. They are exposed to these variations because they cannot move, because these plants are immovable. That's why they have to survive in temperature, high wind speed, atmospheric moisture. Now nucleus. It is very important component of the living cell. It is generally dense and spherical organelle and located in the center of the cell. It can be seen easily with the help of a microscope. So nucleus is the brain of the cell. It is there in the center, okay, and it can be seen through a microscope. Now this is nucleus. This is endoplasmic reticulum. This is nucleolus. This is chromatin material. This the matrix inside the nucleus is known as nucleoplasm. This is nuclear pore. This is nuclear envelope, or you can say the nuclear membrane. Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane called the nuclear membrane. This membrane is also porous. Okay, this is also porous, have pores inside it, and allow the movement of material between the cytoplasm and inside of the nucleus. And then it allows the material to go from cytoplasm to inside the nucleus, from nucleus to the cytoplasm. It is consists of nucleolus also, and it is also having thread-like structures called chromosomes. These carry genes and help in inheritance. So these chromosomes carry genes and they help in inheritance as well. Or transfer of characters from parents to the offspring, and they also transfer characters from the parents to the offspring. The chromosomes can be seen only when the cell divides. And chromosome, when we can see chromosomes, we can able to see chromosome only when the cell is getting divided. Genes contains genetic codes. Genes have genetic codes on them which are responsible for unique physical character of an animal or a plant. And because of the gene codes, genetic codes, we are able to have different unique physical characters in us also, in plants also. Nucleus acts as control center, means it is a brain of the cell. Okay, and it of the activities of the cell, so it control all the activities of the cell. The entire content of a living cell is known as protoplasm. Okay, so the entire content of the living cell is known as protoplasm, which is living. It includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus, and it includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus. It control all the metabolic activities of the cell, so this control all the metabolic activities of the cell. Nucleus is the storehouse of genes. Nucleus has lot many of genes, so it is known as storehouse of the genes. Without nucleus, cell can neither survive nor show specialized activity. If there is no nucleus, cell cannot survive. Cell will die and it will not show specialized activities also. The nucleus of the bacterial cell is not well organized like the cells of multicellular organisms. Okay, there is no nuclear membrane. The cells having nuclear material without nuclear membrane are termed as prokaryotic cells. Okay, so bacterial cells are prokaryotic cells. You can see a diagram of prokaryotic cell. Instead of nucleus, there is a nucleoid. There are ribosome, plasma membrane and cell wall. Okay, membrane bound cell organelles are also absent. The organism with these kinds of cells are called prokaryotes. Pro means primitive, karyo means nucleus. Example, bacteria and blue-green algae. The cells like onion cheek cells and cheek cells having well organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane and are designated as eukaryotic cells. So those who have a proper nucleus and there is a proper nuclear membrane also, those cells will be known as eukaryotic cells. All organisms other than bacteria and blue-green algae, that is also known as cyanobacteria, are called eukaryotes. Eu means true, karyo means nucleus. For example, plants, animals, all are eukaryotic. Now we will compare a plant and animal cell. Plant cell have a cell wall surrounding the cell membrane. Animal cell do not have a cell wall. Fine. Plant cell contain chloroplasts which are used for photosynthesis. This is absent in animal cell because animal cells are heterotrophic. They will not do photosynthesis. Plant cells have a large vacuole. It is like a fluid sac compared to animal cell. Animal cell has a small vacuole compared to a plant cell. Cell in the plants are more structured due to the cell wall. They have a proper structure and form a lattice-like structure which helps with rigidness. But animal cells are blobby. They are not rigid and they do not have any fixed shape. Now gene. Gene is a unit of inheritance in living organism. It controls the transfer of a hereditary characteristic from parents to offspring. Okay, so genes carry from parents to the offspring. This means that your parent passed some of their characteristics on you. That means your parents have also passed some of the characteristics on you, right? If your father has a brown eye, you may also have brown eyes. If your mother has curly hair, you might also end up having curly hair. However, the different combination of genes from parents result in different characteristics. Cell has nucleus, nucleus has chromosome, chromosomes has DNA and DNA has gene. Okay, so cell will be carrying nucleus. In nucleus there is chromatin material which has chromosome. Chromosome have DNA, DNA has genes and genes are responsible for transferring the genetic material from parents to offspring. Okay, now solve NCERT question. This is the homework for today. Solve NCERT exercise questions. Question number 4. Which part of the cell contain organelles? Question 5. Make sketches of animal and plant cell. State 3 differences between them. Next, explain why chloroplasts are found in plant cells. So these 3 questions you need to do in your FAIR notebook. Now we will discuss the homework solutions of lecture 4, which I gave you yesterday. So question number 3 was given. Write short note on following cytoplasm and nucleus of a cell. First of all, cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a fluid that contains all the cell organelles such as mitochondria, ribosomes, Golgi bodies, etc. It is present between the nucleus and the plasma membrane. It helps in exchange of materials between the cell organelles. It is made up of 80% water and usually clear and colorless. Now the nucleus of a cell. The nucleus is a double membrane bound cell organelle present in eukaryotic cells. It contains the DNA, the genetic material. It is command center of the cell and is spherical in shape. It has following components. Nuclear membrane, nucleolus, chromosomes. So let's start with nuclear membrane. It is a double layer membrane. It separates the content of the nucleus from the cytoplasm and acts as a wall. It has pores that allow the transfer of certain substances in and out of the cell. Nucleolus. It is a small, dense spherical body. It is not bound by any membrane. Chromosome. There are thread-like structures that carry genes. All the necessary information required for the transfer of characteristics from the parents to the offspring are stored in the genes. Inheritance of characteristics is possible only because of chromosome. Okay, so all the necessary information from parents to the offspring are stored in the genes, and if there is no chromosome, there will be no inheritance. Next question. Where are chromosomes found in a cell? State their function. Chromosomes are thread-like structure present in the nucleus that carry genes. All the necessary information required for transfer of characteristics from parents to the offspring are stored in the genes. Inheritance of characteristics is possible only because of chromosomes. That's all for today. Thank you.